Hey everyone, this is Gary Kay, and I have a special guest today on my Rants and Raves podcast, Videocast Day, with Jesse McDowell, who is the VP of Business Development at SYNNEX, with a specific expertise in security. We're connecting a lot of devices to the network now. Kind of where do you sit in the SYNNEX ecosystem of services?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I'm Vice President of Business Development. And my responsibility is really the go-to-market strategy, the business development efforts, and program creation for our security and networking business unit at SYNNEX. We've got over 80 manufacturers in this space now that we support. And just as security is ever evolving in the market, so are the deliverables that we provide to our partners. Our big focus is partner enablement across the entire span of the SYNNEX ecosystem. We've created an enablement portal. We've got over 50 courses there on how to address industry trends and market demands in the space. We've got complementary security assessments in place for our partners to leverage. We've got a bench of highly certified engineers that support our partners throughout really the entirety of the sales cycle. So a number of things that we're doing to support our partners.
So it's more than just providing products. You're providing a lot of services there, and this is timely. There's probably no better time to address this in our industry. If we were to try to talk about this, 5 or 10 years ago, we didn't have a lot of devices on the network, although we were starting to put stuff on the network. Now everything is connected to the network. You have ISC West just wrapping up. You have an environment where we're working from home. Some people are working from home, working from Starbucks, working from schools, and then some people in the office sharing confidential documents across devices, also potentially sharing confidential information through email and through projection of things and displays in rooms. Talk about how SYNNEX specifically can support AV integrators in this space.
Sure. I think it's important to reiterate the point that you made about, why are we talking about security in AV with our integrator partners? And again, you're right. Not everything is on the network today. We're not seeing a ton of standalone systems anymore. Whether it's connected via hardwire Ethernet or it's wireless, it's all on the network. And I think some people would argue that, okay, well, many AV devices don't typically house any confidential data. Why do I need to be worried about security? In many instances, that's true, right? It depends on the device. But let's assume that there's no real data on the device. The device is still a way to get into something, to get somewhere else within the network. Hackers really aren't trying to go in and target your projector, for the audio or any real content that may exist there. But again, it's connected to an IP system and it's a way in. And I think a perfect example is the Target hack that we saw several years ago that was in the news. The entry point on that hack was the air conditioning system. So I think it's safe to say the hacker wasn't really interested in what the temperature was within the Target stores, but it was an entry point into their system to gain access to a lot of confidential and critical data. So,
Yeah.
I think staying up to date with the latest security protocols, Gary, and having the ability to offer leading solutions for us is so critical right now, especially in the current state of the business climate. We've got many end users that are going to be moving back to the office, back to school. And I think there's a lot of things that our integrators can do to address this, like setting passwords on devices and, maybe consider setting up separate networks for the AV equipment. And there's many ways that SYNNEX can help as well. We have, I mentioned our extensive line card earlier with over 80 manufacturers in the security and networking space. So we've got the products to support it. But aside from that, we've really got a very robust menu of services and support that we offer to our partner community. I'd mentioned earlier our engineering bench and services teams. They hold over 350 certifications. They're extremely well equipped to support the entire process, from pre-sales consultations to designs to end user demos to installation and deployment, and even post-sales support. The complementary assessments that we offer that I mentioned are a great starting point for partners, certainly for integrators as well, as a first step to identifying any potential vulnerabilities on the network. And then that enablement portal that I mentioned as well, excellent tool for partners new to the security space, even our veteran security partners, to really stay on top of the industry trends and demands and learn how to address those within their end user customer base.
Yeah, we'll link the enablement portal. And as long as you're a SYNNEX integrator, you have access to that. If you're not, you should become one to get access. This is a great opportunity for you to just show a system and say, hey, you'll evaluate it and tell them where the potential holes are. And we are getting a lot of clients asking for things like Alexa devices to be connected in there so that they can talk to the systems. And of course, consumer devices are brought into a network because of BYOD applications. A lot of people aren't going to want to touch the things in the room. They're going to want to use their own devices. So this is actually a great time to address this topic. Where does this sit within the SYNNEX sort of ecosystem? Is this part of collabsolv, or is this across the entire organization?
Sure. Well, our security and networking business unit is its own separate business unit. However, because security and networking really touches everything, our job is to support the entire SYNNEX ecosystem, from the different business units such as collabsolv all the way down to our sales reps across the organization. So we've got our own separate business unit, but we are absolutely an extension of and a support arm of collabsolv, as an example.
And of course, collabsolv at synnex.com. We'll link all this in the description of this video cast. Jessica, thank you for joining me today. I'll link your LinkedIn profile as well so people can connect directly with you to reach out with you, because you obviously would be a great resource personally to have in your arsenal of contacts, especially when you have a security issue. So check out Jessica on LinkedIn. And of course, SYNNEX is at synnex.com and the collabsolv group. And thank you for joining me today, Jessica. I appreciate the education.
Thank you, Gary.